After years of estrangement, a woman returns to her wealthy family to claim her inheritance, but discovers that her true legacy is far more valuable than any fortune. The letter came on a Monday, slipped under her door like an afterthought. Margaret Blake picked it up, her fingers tracing the elegant script. It was from her estranged mother, Evelyn, who hadn't spoken to her in a decade. "Your father has passed. The funeral is next week. Come if you want your inheritance." It read cold and unfeeling. Margaret's heart ached, but her resolve was stronger. She had left her wealthy family behind for a reason, and she wasn't about to let their money lure her back. But curiosity got the better of her. She decided to attend the funeral, if only to say her goodbyes and perhaps find some closure. The Blake mansion was as imposing as ever, its grand facade a stark contrast to the modest life Margaret had built for herself. As she stepped inside, she was greeted by the familiar opulence, but also by the cold stares of her family. Her mother, Evelyn, barely acknowledged her presence, and her siblings whispered among themselves, their voices laced with judgment. "Look at her, dressing like a pauper," one of them muttered. Margaret ignored them, her head held high. She was here for one reason, and one reason only: to pay her respects to her father. The funeral was a somber affair, the church filled with the elite of the city. Margaret stood at the back, unseen and unheard, just as she had always been. As the service ended, the family filed out, leaving Margaret alone with her thoughts. She took a moment to collect herself before walking back to the mansion. As she entered the grand hall, she was met by the family lawyer. "Mr. Thompson, Miss Blake, your mother has asked me to give you this," he said, handing her a sealed envelope. Margaret took it, her hands trembling slightly. Inside was a check for a substantial amount of money. "Your inheritance," Mr. Thompson explained. "Your mother has made it clear that this is your last connection to the family. Accept it, and you will never be welcome here again." Margaret looked at the check, then back at Mr. Thompson. "Tell my mother thank you, but I don't want her money," she said firmly. "I never did." With that, she turned and walked away, leaving the mansion and her family behind for good. As she stepped out into the sunlight, she felt a sense of liberation. She had come to say her goodbyes and find closure, and she had done just that. But more importantly, she had proven to herself and to her family that she was worth more than any amount of money. Margaret Blake was her own woman, and she would never let anyone define her worth again.